We're here live at Center Park Stadium over the 2025 SWAC MEAC Challenge, and we're here to support the Southern University Jaguars. Okay!
Well, Franklin is considered a thunder in this running attack. Get outside, 2-2. Oh my goodness! Right up the middle. You said he was special. He can do this. Dual threat quarterback. He said, I got my leg.
It's about to go down.
I'm a cold. I knew that boy was a hoe. Blueface, baby.
On the 6-yard line, the toss out, and that's an easy score.
Good evening, fellas. Good evening, fellas.
What up, what up? What up, what up?
Hey, man. I've seen too much slandering going on. Too many hee-hees, too many ha-has going on for me. From one too many schools that really shouldn't even be laughing. Oh, okay. But we're going to get to them another day. As the real purple and gold get ready to show out this weekend, man. How are we feeling today, Jay?
Feeling great, man.
You mind turning the music?
Oh my God.
I mean, we can keep it going, but nah. There we go. There we go.
Can't hear on my end.
But you were saying, Janarius? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. Just ready for this week, bro.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I know we're gonna get into a lot of what's transpired here in Houston on Monday and today, but you know, I think I'm equally parts excited, equally parts frustrated. And Lionel asked me earlier today. He said, "You know, you ready to come up off that hill?" I said, "I've been off the hill. I'm down the street. Okay, I've been off the hill. I'm ready to go.
Enemy lines, man.
Yeah. We ready to go. You know, this is probably arguably the most anticipated Labor Day Classic, if not one of the most anticipated for sure. You know, I don't know if it's fully accurate, but so don't hold me to it. But I think they're expecting pretty much a sellout. So, you know, it should be a very good environment, even despite the rain. And it's time to kick some butt. You know, there's been a lot of talk, and it ain't been a whole enough action for my liking. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Nah, definitely. I'm with you on that one. We will be getting back to TSU and our wonderful Labor Day Classic. But first, I would love to get us started on our game of the week last week.
Oh, yeah.
We had Southern put up a good fight for 2 quarters, but subsequently ended up getting blown out in Atlanta. That's an early prediction there. We had Harris looking like potentially quarterback MEAC player of the year over there, 22 out of 27, 186 yards and a touchdown. We also had Mosley for Central go off for 182 yards and a touchdown, man. You know, can I get a penny for your thoughts, Zay, of what all you've seen throughout the game and what really stood out to you?
Yeah, so I'll kind of work my way backwards to Harris. So that offensive line for Central, I think across the board we saw some pretty good offensive line from both teams, but particularly for Central, they have a bunch of size. Those guys are cohesive, and you can tell it didn't look like a game 1 for them of the season. It looked like more like a game 4, game 5, the way they approached it and the way they came to play. I like how overall how rattled North Carolina Central was as a team. They looked like the more prepared team, right? In my opinion. And Trey Oliver, he does a great job, you know, as a coach, and really, you know, they have this big thing called culture over scheme, which I kind of like. You know, I really like the fact that, you know, he has some different takes than a lot of coaches. as far as how he's going to do NIL, how he's going to run his program. But it's working for them. It has worked, and I'm of the opinion it will continue to work because they have it already in motion. So, and then lastly, Walker Harris, I think he tore it up, man. He picked them apart, and you could start to see the separation towards the end of the second quarter. But really, that third quarter it showed you who the better team was and why they are who they are. So I took those few nuggets from the game overall. And yeah, Southern, I don't think they're a bad team. I think I'll say this about Southern, and I don't say a whole lot nice about Southern. They have the talent. I don't think talent is their issue. I think maybe there's some coaching, things that could be improved, right? And I know I've watched all the channels. They're calling for Mark Frederick's job, and some are calling for Greg's job. But it's just, I hate to say that, but it's just game one. But to see kind of what it sounds like is not much improvement for how they ran things from last year, you kind of have cause for concern on a coaching standpoint. Not necessarily, hey, Trey Holly is that dude, right? If we can do PV, I'd be on the phone trying to make it happen myself. So, yeah, they have some good players, and the D line needs some improvement as well. I will say Kelby Givens in his own right is amazing, but the rest of the D line, he can't be the only one. He's not going to be able to save your defense. So that's what I saw.
And I know for me, I was highly disappointed in what I seen, especially for the first half of the game. I thought both teams played extremely sloppy, especially on the defensive end. We seen gashing runs through holes that, in my opinion, were right in the middle of the offense and defensive line. We really didn't get very good quarterback play until towards the end of the game. But North Carolina Central had a lot of drives. Their first 2 or 3 drives kind of ended up in the red zone and really pretty much fizzled out. Southern was able to get stops where they needed them, but ultimately their offense just let them down. And it just makes me question, not us just on this panel, but the entire SWAC. How long and how far are we going to let these simple high school-like offenses get away with this and play like this? I'm not going to lie. Southern might as well get up there in the wishbone and just run the full option all day. If they can't throw the ball 7 times, they might as well just keep handing it off to everybody.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. Right. I don't think, there's been a lot of prognostication about whether the SWAC is that much far apart from the MEAC in terms of talent. I don't think that's the case. I don't even think it used to be a notion that it was entrenched play. I don't think that's the case either. I think this specific game came down to one team got outcoached and the other team came ready to go. Right. And if you listen to some of the players, I watched the Terrence Graves coaching show, right? And he talked about just they could have done things much differently to prepare the guys to get there. And even the players, Horatio Johnson, namely, spoke in an interview after the game and said, hey, how we prepared for this game, we weren't even ready before we got here. It was something to that effect. Like we were too caught up in the hype and not really focused on the game at hand. And that kind of stuff matters, and it shows, right? So I don't think you're wrong. I just think that, coaching, not being ready to play, and North Carolina Central had a little bit more depth and talent and a much better game plan. You put those things together, you're going to get 31-14 every time. I mean, that's just, that's for any team though. That's not picking on Southern. That's just the truth.
Right.
So
that's true.
What I say is that.
What are you saying, engineers? I can't hear you on my end.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear him, Kaylor?
Nah, I can't hear him, but keep going though.
Okay, so from what I've seen, like me, I'm not a really big fan of like the running game too much because like it only can take you like so far. You get what I'm saying? Because if you've seen the game, to be honest, Southern and Maine was depending on their run game more than anything. And when they started having to throw the ball, it just really didn't come right. Because like 70 yards throughout 4 quarters isn't really impressive at all to me, to be honest. And also, I just feel that NCCU came with adjustments in that second half, and actually using both sides and stuff like that, and actually making things shake when it came to passing, and that's what I feel like helped them fully beat Southern. It's like Southern really didn't have no answer for the QB and anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong, the dude from LSU, Holly, he actually did his part, got a touchdown, 61 yards, I think, something like that. But at the end of the day, I just feel like the running game is gonna be too easy to stop. Once you stop that, it's ball game, bro. Like, you get that exposed, you gonna have to the point you have to throw the ball, you're gonna choke. That's all I say.
Mm. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, very, very one dimensional.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, it's not anything that I would like to have said. Hey, you know what? Southern got the win, and it was good for the SWAC and that sort of deal. But I think we all knew to an extent how this was going to play out well before the game was even played. And so hopefully, they say teams see the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. Hopefully, in their case, I mean, I don't root for Southern at all, but hopefully in a game against a new and improved Valley team who's going to be playing very spirited, they come on with it, right? Because Valley has film on them. They don't have any film on Valley. So I think it's going to, and they're going to Inabena. Please, forgive me if I got that wrong, but they're going somewhere real far in the Delta, put it that way. And I think that Valley's going to be coming ready to play. Terrell Buckley, he's saying we ain't laying down for nobody. And so hopefully we'll see, what did he say? That McCoy package, he wasn't supposed to play that much. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm actually glad Crook, that's one of the few things I can ever say Crook makes a good point. The quarterback controversy situation and how Jalen Lewis was supposed to be QB1 and McCoy played most of the game. Tell me how you guys feel about how that played out and what y'all. Let me better question. If you're in a coach's shoes and let's say the rumors are true, he missed the bus, he was out partying or whatever, missed the bus, and he was running late. What does a proper punishment do you think look like for your proposed QB1, especially in a big game like this?
Yeah, as big of a game it is, knowing I'm head coach, knowing every game this year really matters for me, my family, and a potential contract extension. My potential best player on offense is not sitting. I can run you after, right? I can have you running bleachers. I can have you running campus runs. I can have you pushing sleds and, doing Panther reminders, as we call them. I can punish you afterwards, but I'm not going to let my pride and me trying to show a lesson to a team that's going to forget it by next week anyway once we lose a lesson. Jordan Woods should have started, and they still lose. But at least you're able to take a look at your true starting 11 on offense, and you have much more data and information to go off of when it's time to get ready for Mississippi Valley that just might punch you in the mouth if you play with them, right? And give you the opportunity to make the adjustment that you need to make. But now, in my opinion, Southern looks confused. I mean, yeah, they're going to use the excuse of that, their starting quarterback didn't play. But can I be certain that he's not going to miss any more buses to go anywhere? Can I be certain that he's not going to stay up partying or whatever the rumor is? So that's something that I'll definitely be looking at as time goes on.
So I think your brother brings up an interesting point. He says, can't let your QB1 show bad habits, and it's not a SWAC game. What do you think about that?
I'm going to have to ask him to break that down for me. And I can understand why somebody like a Graves would say, hey, this out of conference game doesn't really matter. Let's kind of keep some things hidden. But even then, that's flying too close to the sun for me. And it's such a risk that kind of really won't end up paying off at the end, because you just added a loss to your L total, and that loss is going to come back to bite you in the butt when it's contract time.
Now, what you think, Janaris? What do you think is an adequate punishment? Your QB1 is missed the bus or was running late, etc. Whatever happened, you're trying to punish him, but you have a really big game and you're in your last, or let me put it this way, you're fighting for your job, to keep your job, and it's a must win. What do you do if you're the head coach?
Yeah, I'll say for the first part, Adrian's right about him being the leader of the team, but also, yeah, like Kaylor said, I will punish him like after the fact, because to be honest with you, like, yeah, he did all that stuff, but at the same time, I'm not finna like sacrifice a game for something that just happened like last night type stuff. Like, if he's ready to play, he's ready to play. But at the end of the day, yeah, like when we get back to that school, that's when we're gonna settle your punishment. So like right now, it's not the good time. It's not the perfect time to do that. So especially it being like kind of last minute, like, yeah, but yeah, we just gonna get that situated once we get back to Baton Rouge. But as of right now, like during the game, it's game time. Not gonna sit you back because of something like that. Like, hey, we live and we learn. But yeah, just know when we get back to that school, hey, that's when we can deal with this. I'll say at that time, it won't be the right time. And like Anthony said, that'd be the best. Worst case scenario, just sit him in the first half and then let him play.
All right. I think that, because I did a little thinking on this. I would say, for me, I get the coaches trying to send a message early, right? That, hey, I'm in control. But to me, the great coaches have long established that well ahead of your first game, if that makes sense. And I think that if there was truly some really disciplinary issues, you need to be on one fence or one side of the fence or the other, right? Either if you're going to sit them out for 3/4 of the game, don't put them in the game, right? Because I don't think, it was already too far gone, right? So if you're going to sit them temporarily, then let it be for a quarter or for the first half.
Right.
But this was a must win for your program, for the conference. I think if he's your best option, you got to play him. And you can worry about discipline on the back end, right? And figuring that out. You need to win games, right? Because the notion is in your first year as a coach, you lucked up.
Right.
There was a series of games that was given to you and gifted, and y'all got very fortunate at the right times. And nobody's taking that away from you, right? But what I am saying is that's the narrative. Regardless of how you feel about it or not, and the only way to respond to something like that, in my opinion, is I'm gonna answer off script, but the only way to answer the answer to that is you got to get wins and get legitimate wins, especially over a good Central program. Lionel got a family. Lionel got stuff to do. He preparing to come up off this hill like the rest of us. Script. Matter of fact, you as the 13th fan. We seen your show. We seen the tape now. Okay, we know you coming out the hill too. Go ahead and get your PV. Not that 2024 shirt. We got 2025 updates for you. We're gonna send you one. And go ahead and get your little ticket to the hill for homecoming, and we're gonna host you. Okay, because we coming off that hill, man.
Hey, all script. Hey, we the T-Jacks, man.
Yeah, we the fighting T-Jacks now.
You gotta get T-Jacks.
Fighting Tremaines. Oh, what did Mr. say?
The Tremaine Jacksons.
Mr. Jacksons. The Mr. Jacksons. Okay, we ain't. Look. It is what it is. We coming out. Look, all right, we're gonna get to that. So y'all stay around for that. We're gonna get to them people in Third Ward because we got some. Look, I ain't gonna steal from G, but we got something to say. Okay, so go ahead. My fault. A little tangent there.
Oh man. So hey, what everybody wants to talk about, man.
Less penalties in your opponent and you should win the game. Our 11 should is better than their 11. It's not about Tremaine and I. It's about our 11. Our 11 is better than their 11, and we should win the game. First and foremost, thank you, Tremaine, for coming out to seeing the stadium. Make sure when you leave that you take a piece of grass, because when you leave on Saturday, you're going to be taking a lot of grass. And also, thank you for wearing the Texas Southern colors, too. All right? It's always...
Hey, man. Every time he speaks, my skin crawls, man. I can't believe he got up there and had the nerve to say that about the grass that he don't own in the stadium they pay the rent.
Just rent it, boy.
Man, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. TSU, man, they like family any other time of the year, but this week in particular, we don't like them people, and they don't like us. They some renters. They're brokies. Okay, they don't have their own stadium. All right, and Coach Milk Dud, dishwater. All right, he started something that he just can't stop now. It is what it is. We coming, and I think that all in all, I get it now. He's trying to generate some press, get the TSU faithfuls, the few and far between. Because this is the thing. Y'all treat our fan base inaccurately. We're not the fan base to say we only have 12 fans. My picture here proves that. It's them people in Third Ward off of Cleburne, Jack Yates Community College, that you need to be addressing, because if we don't have no fans, they for sure ain't got no fans. I'm gonna tell you that now. Support is sparse. Okay, I gotta get a dictionary so I can pull out some words for that. But all in all, I think that it's fine, because this is not Coach Jackson and his team. They're used to pressure. They put pressure on themselves, so our expectations are sky high, and we're not worried about this smoke he's trying to blow up our what. It is what it is, and it's time to spot the ball. Okay, it's time to spot the darn ball. And we're going to see what it is come Saturday in that rented stadium. Yeah, we're going to see.
Oh, man.
And
I will say, I do love the trash talk, and I love that they're bringing back that SWAC in the 80s, SWAC in the 90s, early 2000s feel. I love, if I'm correct, we haven't had a moment similar to this since the Eddie Robinson versus Dion debacle that happened back in 2021. So it does feel good to hate another team again. It does feel good to, have a coach be willing to put that on the line to even say something that crazy, right? And giving both teams motivation to come out here and be, I'm calling it, the most viewed game of the week this week on SWAC TV.
Yeah. And somebody asked, is the game sold out? Last time, I've been checking the ticket updates daily. On Vivid Seats, is showing that 36 tickets remain. Now, this stadium seats 22,000. And so, typically the years we go to this rent a stadium, we probably pull about 18,000. So in order to get that remaining four, I think all that smack talk has generated enough to get us there. So we're looking forward to a great environment, even with the rain. And yeah, it's going to be 80-20 PV. For sure, because unlike what y'all think our fan base is like, they ain't gotten one for sure. Them photos we showed, that is a regular home game. Y'all talk about our one game versus Valley, that one good time with 700 people or whatever it was, and we really average about 9,000 at home. No. Them people there, listen, I've seen two TSU fans this week. I just so happened to run into them. I asked them, I said, y'all going to the game? What game? What you talking about?
Oh, man. Hey, keep in mind, they are 1-9 the last 10 years. So I understand. That's a traumatic experience for a lot of people that they just don't participate in Labor Day Classic at all. They'd rather have a family reunion. They'd rather get ready for church on Sunday. I completely understand. But I think they really just try to put a wool over your eyes. They're really gonna be there. I think they're gonna be drunk, and I think they're gonna be excited this weekend.
Adrian, they just be donating to that stadium, bro.
Yeah, bro. I think I heard Big Bad Brave G for Swagger Fool is coming out to his first Labor Day class. But yeah, we heard G. I think Lionel talked with him as well. I think he's gonna go to that Northwestern State game tomorrow and Natchitoches, and then just drive on up to Houston and come up here and see what we're talking about. So it should be great. There's a lot that this is a good holy channel, so I can't say it like I really want to say it. But we coming. There's no doubt about that. I got all the faith in my and all this is gonna be put to bed Saturday night. Sunday morning we're gonna play Sunday morning, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing. We're not gonna go down to where they want us to go with. So that's that.
Now this is our rebuttal from the Coach of the Year, Coach T. Jacks.
And trying to generate some excitement. Do you see it as that at all too?
Man, I went to Oak Forest Elementary, class of '94. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to recess. I don't play. We don't play. That's not us. It's not what we do about it. So I don't know what that is. I just know how we do things. And so shout out to Miss Rector, my 5th grade teacher, for not making me go to recess because I didn't play no game.
Hey,
Shout
I gotta
out
go find
Miss
Miss
Rector.
Rector. We gotta get her on the channel, man. We gotta
class of '94. All right. Shout out Miss Rector. She holding it down since '94.
Man. But I wish I had the clips to show what went on today, man. I know, from some of the clips that I was able to see at the other seminar that they had, things got really ugly. The gloves almost came off. I'm starting to think this is getting a little personal. I know T. Jack likes to keep it professional. I know he likes to speak in generalities, but that face he made at the end of that interview where he kind of rolled his eyes right there. Hey, I know when an old head getting pissed off, man. And I think he's getting to that point. I know our locker room is feeling it. I've seen some tweets here and there. I've seen some IG stories here and there. This might be one of the most hard-hitting games this week. I've seen a comment from somebody. He's probably an Alcorn Brave fan. They don't know about hitting or winning the West. With that being said, this will be the game of the week. Everybody will be watching, from Jackson State to FAMU to Southern, because I don't know if y'all been seeing on the timeline, those 3 universities have all of a sudden became TSU fans, and now they dusting off their TSU jerseys, and they want them to make it out the West for some reason, even though they ain't finna make it out the East. But what are y'all thoughts about what T-Jack said, and what do y'all think his mentality is just going into the game?
He's showing you that we finna come off that hill and we ain't finna play, bro. So people think it's a joke, thinking, oh, he's cocky and stuff. But at the end of the day, my boy finna come up and he finna come and show y'all that, hey, this team ain't nothing to play with. And we finna go ahead and bust some heads. That's just how I feel how he coming.
Yeah, I do want to say this. We're working on some T-shirts. It's probably gonna have shout out to Miss Rector on there. It'll probably have, I didn't go to recess. I don't play. That's gonna be coming real soon. We got a committee together for that. So I just wanted to put that out there for all the PVs and the everybody's. If you want one too, this is created so much buzz. We feel like we can do it in different colors if you want. You want blue and white? You want everybody but maroon and gray. Unless you're North Carolina Central, we'll get you one because you beat Southern. But TSU, you can't get one. But everybody else, we'll get you a T-shirt. We'll work on that. I'm gonna say this. I think that because I don't know if y'all have the footage from the touchdown luncheon today, but this is from Monday's Labor Day Classic press conference. I think initially, T-Jack handled it with class. He showed you, hey, you know what? We understand the disrespect. We understand the hate. And it's rightfully so. There's a lot of good things happening on this hill. So we're gonna handle that. And I think he set a tone with you got to think the players eat all this stuff up. They're looking at this stuff just like we are too. So you can't, as a player, you can't come tell me not to go and clap back at somebody, etc. And handle things a certain way if you're not willing to do that. So I think that he was keeping in line with what the standard is for the program. on Monday. Now today, I think it got a little bit. This thing turned personal, and all disrespect will be handled. Don't worry about that. That's one thing we know how to do on the hill. Okay,
Right.
all disrespect will be handled. So, but I think there's a little shift that happened. But all in all, I think it was a classy response, and it was tactful. So, it is what it is.
Let me see. Alrighty. Let me get us in transition. These just some additional stats. We got Coach Dishman aiming for his first winning season at TSU since 2000. Good Lord. We've all learned from the mistakes and do the little things right. Me personally, I just don't think that roster is up to par to be able to consistently compete week in and week out. And then, of course, we got Coach of the Year, SWAC Coach of the Year, Tremaine Jackson, bringing in the #1 recruiting class in HBCU football per 27 Sports in our first season with high expectations, and just keeping the momentum rolling. So I was able to kind of find some odds, which shocked me. Now, I don't know how truthful this is going to be going into Saturday, but they have TSU favored with a 340 money line, and then they got them by a touchdown and a half. So I'm interested to see if the number changes going into the game, or how many people take this bet. I know I'm willing to offer this bet on Twitter and different JSU fans and Southern fans. I haven't found a TSU fan to bet me quite yet, but I'm interested to say, how do you guys feel about that money line and the point spread?
Let me go first on that one. Okay. What I feel about that, I feel like they just going off last year, to be honest. I don't go by predictions anyway, so I don't really too much stress about stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, I just feel like they're going off last year, and they saying like, oh, they got a whole new team. So they feel like, okay, we don't know how this team coming, so I can't really just say, oh, PV is gonna be that team to win, and I just won't put my money on PV. But hey, I just feel like coming Saturday, we're gonna show them a surprise, and hey, we're gonna shock the whole whoever made these like money lines and stuff. We're gonna shock Vegas with this one. That's all I say.
Yeah, I'm not concerned one bit. If you look at, I'd be curious to go back and do some research on, I don't know, the last 20 games we played with TSU and what the Vegas odds have been, because I can tell you in years where, there probably would have been favored, we won. There's a reason why our program, even across several head coaches, we're 17 and 20. I'm sorry, 17. We've won 17 out of the last 20.
Okay.
And we won 9 out of the last 10. I don't think that's by happenstance. What one bit? That's across different coaching philosophies, different players that have come. There are literally TSU grads that were kids, and now they are adults, and they have yet to see TSU win but once, and that was last year. So, as far as I'm concerned, them Vegas odds don't mean a hill of beans to me. Spot the ball. So, that's how I feel on it,
Gotcha. Alrighty. And I'm getting a lot of talk in the comment section. Just really about the pick'ems for the games this week, man. I know we got together over the weekend and we picked our top 4 games, excluding us.
Hey, take that
of the HBCU games that we think have an actual impact and that we'll be able to see. We put our thoughts on there to see who was going to win. I'm going to go on ahead and go first. And I have no problem explaining these in thorough manner. We got Valley versus Southern. I think Valley's taking this home. I don't like what I've seen from Southern. Like I said, they might as well get up there and run the wishbone. The quarterback shouldn't throw the ball one time, whether it's Jalen Woods, Jordan Woods, Michael B. Jordan. They go ahead and keep that in their pocket and run the ball 40 times a game. Other than that, I think I see Valley going into Southern, taking it away. I got Jackson beating Hampton. I haven't heard of Hampton ever since they kind of went to the other conference and left the MEAC. I know JSU fans love to say it, JSU by 40. We got FAMU versus Howard. I haven't heard any traction about Howard going into this offseason, even though I'm very PV centered. I got FAMU handling business in the Orange Blossom Classic, as they do historically, and they're going to go on ahead and get the job done. And so, last but not least, to the fake purple and gold, I apologize to y'all. Y'all losing this week to Northwestern. It's over with. Everybody in the SWAC West except PV is going to be 0-1, and I'll just be the one to tell y'all that. Some people in the SWAC West going 0-2, but this is just the reality of the situation.
Go ahead, Janiers. I'm sorry.
All right, I was gonna explain my picks. Like Southern, I ain't gonna lie. Like they played bad this past week, but I ain't gonna lie. I feel like they can come back and bounce back. I feel like they can bounce back. I ain't gonna just go off one game, but hey, if they prove me wrong and hey, they Valley get their first 1-0 start since who knows when. Like hey, I might feel played, but hey, as of right now, I'm going with Southern. Hampton, I ain't really hear too much about Hampton, so I can't really say much about Hampton. I don't know nothing about Hampton too much about their team, but as of right now, I got JSU, of course. Howard, I ain't too much here from them in the off season either, so like it's like I ain't hear no hype. And like FAMU, I feel like they still got a good team. I'm not gonna sit there and say like, oh, this dude, FAMU is gonna be trash or whatever since they lost to Valley last year, but I still got FAMU net, and I know, but it's Alcorn and Northwestern. We all kind of was all not on the same page on this one, but yeah, I'm going Alcorn because I just feel like I just can't depend off Northwestern State. Just to be honest, I just feel like they're not as good of a team unless they improve. But other than that, I just don't feel like that they will knock off Alcorn. That's just me. But Isaiah, you got it.
Okay, so I'll work the other direction backwards. So with Northwestern State at Alcorn, I think that obviously Alcorn is the reports have been they've gotten bigger, they've gotten longer, they've gotten faster, etc. Obviously they usually have a pretty good run game and a pretty good defense. However, and I know that Northwestern State is on a 20-game losing streak, so keep that in mind. They always play these out of conference games with FCS opponents. They always get in these really close games, and I think more often than not, Alcorn comes up on the losing end. Why that is, I don't know. But I was going off memory when I picked it, so it could very well be the other way around. But I'm gonna go Northwestern with that. FAMU, I just think once again, I haven't heard a ton about what the coach is going to do up at Howard. I do know that, or what I've heard, he's on the hot seat. So this would be a game to make a statement, but I don't necessarily trust it. I think FAMU just has, even if the coaching is not really up to par, I think they have the talent to out talent them and squeeze their way out of the game. So I'm gonna go FAMU. Jackson State. I think Hampton's going to give them a tighter game than what they're expecting, right, for at least 3 quarters. I think you'll start to see a separation come late third quarter. And so, but, with that being said, I got Jackson on that. Southern, I think that we didn't get a chance to see enough of Jalen Woods in the Central game to really make a determination about how the team runs on the offensive side of the ball. And so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they pull it out and handle business as they should against Valley. But if for some reason Valley keeps them close, I think it could be an upset watch. So, that one could go another direction. Let me be clear about that. But I think Southern gets it done and, they go ahead and do what they need to do. So that's my picks. And we'll see how they fare.
No, I like it, and I want to do my best to tune into that Jackson State Hampton game. not only to scout Jackson State, but for the most part, we know what they have, right? They're bringing a lot of returners back. They have the offensive player of the year. In my opinion, their moneymaker is their defense. It's just so many guys. They're not going to highlight one guy in particular, right? But I'm really interested to see how they play against Hampton. If they are able to hold them to under 3 touchdowns this game, I think that is going to be setting the tone of what to expect by the time we get to conference play. Because if the top 4 defenses in the SWAC are holding teams to 17, 18, 19 points a game, I mean, the competition is going to be tight in between those top 4 teams. So that's a game that I'm really excited for.
Nice. Yeah. If looking at all these games, I think the one that I'm most excited for is probably I want to see what fam looks like.
Okay.
I want to see, is it legit or is Cozy in trouble?
Right.
And I think this, even with them expected to win this game, I think this is going to show a lot about what type of team they have, and the quarterback they name, I think his name is R.J. Johnson.
Right.
I want to see him transfer from Toledo. I want to see him in action and see how it's supposed to run. Obviously, last year they had some losses towards the end that just kind of really hurt them. Jackson losing the PV.
Man,
and obviously
Valley at home, man.
Valley at home is crazy. To snap the streak, is crazy. And the thing is, that Valley and Atlanta game, I don't expect Valley to win that game. Let me be clear, I'm not that crazy. But if they do win 2 years in a row, Cozy gone. There's no way. There's no way he keeps his job. That's just what it is. He understood that taking the job, and they're gonna. I think that's gonna be a team to watch. So I think I'm excited to see what fam looks like.
Mm-hmm. And one of those things about being FAMU and being on the East, right? The great thing, right? You get to play Valley, you get to play Alabama A&M, right? You get to play, some people you can really beat up on. The problem is you got that head-to-head with Jackson, and if you lose it, your season potentially done right then and there. Your season could be over with week 2. They used to play in the Orange Blossom Classic, and their season used to be over with week 1, right? Or they would be begging and praying every night that Jackson State would lose. I'm saying all that to say, I know for a fact Cozy is on the hot seat, mainly for the simple fact the way that he was hired reminds me a lot of our situation with Bubba. And this is no slander to Coach Bubba, but Bubba was more so hired on the premise of we have an older team. We have a team that we believe that can get back to the championship and win it as it's constructed. Let's run it back, right? But the problem with having a coach just to run it back with is if you're not adding the pieces that you need or making the adjustments that you need and winning those key games that you need, it all ends up being worth for nothing. And you can't tell me this, FAMU, Southern, soon to be Alabama State, they're not sitting around here looking and saying, man, we really missed one with T-Jack. Man, we really missed one with Sam Shade, right? And I just think that if they do not have a winning season other than losing to Jackson, there's going to be a lot of regret, and he might be gone by the end of November.
Oh yeah,
he might not be able to eat his Thanksgiving meal before he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And they're talking about in the comments about this week is a full slate. SWAC ball is definitely back. This is one of the few times where I would say I'm glad we got a few Thursday games because we get to see some of our opponents a little earlier.
Right.
See what they look like. Probably talk a little bad about them too when they lose, or if they lose. So before our game, but all in all, I think that we got some good matchups. Across the landscape, are there any other games that we didn't mention that y'all are excited to see?
Yeah, because I believe we missed a few. I know we tried to narrow it down as much as we could.
Yeah, I'll go. Like I know Grambling is playing Langston, but I am curious to see what that Grambling team looks like.
Right.
Coach Mickey Super Bowl Joseph. He's really set a precedent, and we understand that it sounds like regardless of what happens, good, bad, or indifferent, he's not planning to be there much longer.
Right.
But I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. And if Langston for some reason sneaks them, they're gonna hear from me.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Winfield on that Facebook stream, he gonna hear from me. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about Dallas. I don't want to hear nothing about the Classic. Y'all might as well not show up. Y'all lose to Langston. Oh no.
Hey, you definitely have a video coming out for that too, boy. Video for that one too.
We bringing belts to Dallas, okay? We bringing belts to Dallas, all right, and we plan to use them. So take that for what it is. But well, yeah, no, it's I'm curious to see what Graham looks like. What about you guys?
I know Grambling is always a team that I'm looking at because just from the history we had, like when I was in undergrad and we had Willie Simmons as our coach, I know we couldn't stand him because there was no beating them from like 2013 to about 2017. There was no beating them in Kincaid. So my hate for Grambling will always be more than Southern or Texas Southern, right? But I feel like that's another head coach that is on the hot seat, right? Mickey Joseph has to make it out the West. It's go to the championship or bust.
Oh yeah.
Or you're gonna get fired after the Bayou Classic, just like your boy Hugh Jackson did last year or the other year. So I feel like there's a certain pressure hanging over Grambling right now. They're the least talked about, the least remembered. Nobody even remembered Grambling existed till the argument of the Blue Bloods popped up around a month ago. So had that not came up, nobody would be talking about Grambling right now.
Nah.
Yeah, they're definitely relative to the success they've had. They're definitely at a low point right now, and it's curious. I'm curious to see how the season goes, but we'll see it all play out for sure. Any other games y'all are looking at? I see somebody mention the Tennessee State North Carolina A&T game. That one should be interesting as well.
That'll definitely be a good game. I just hate that they're just out of conference opponents. So it's like, yeah, they're going to get their game in, but the ramifications aren't necessarily there, right? They'll have bragging rights between one another for the next few years. But for my own selfish reasons, right, I do hope Tennessee State does take an opportunity to look at the SWAC, maybe look at the MEAC, see if we could get some of those rivalries back. I would love to see Tennessee State dropped in there. And it's hard for me to say that I want them on the East, but I do like them playing Jackson historically. I do like them running up. I want them to play us. I would love for them to play FAMU and just some of the historic programs that we have in the SWAC. I would love to see, them come down and be able to bust us with some good football.
Oh, with the the word on the street committee is saying that they'll be looking to join the conference in 26.
Okay.
Not sure how true that is. I know they have some financial issues as a university they're working through with the state, but I'll say this: one can only think, what does it look like for Jackson and Tennessee State to have a home and home, because they play the site so long. What does it look like for Jackson to take their fan base up to Nashville, and then from Tennessee State,
that's a money maker.
I think, that would definitely be a hot ticket. And it'd be great to see, because I can't even remember the last time they even played home and home, if ever. Or I'm sure they played home and home, but they were in the Southern Heritage Classic so long, so that one would just be visually good on TV and more than likely a good game. So I can't even hate that. That one would generate some excitement just from generally just watching some football. So if they come to the conference, that begets a whole lot of other questions, right? Because then that puts us in an odd number of schools. So
right.
I guess since we're taking it there, and y'all can answer in the comments too, because I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts.
I know where you go.
If Tennessee State came to their senses and decided to come with the blacks over here at the SWAC, right? And we had them, we accepted them, and we got engaged with them. what other school would be a running mate so that way we could even out the conference and make it 7-7.
Whew. Geographically speaking, it's really hard to say because, all right, let's say you brought in Tennessee State. At that point, we would kind of have to get rid of the East and the West. Even though I love the divisions, geographically speaking, it makes it extremely hard that way. For my own selfish reasonings, I feel that we would have to bring a team of their caliber. It would be hard to entice somebody who already kind of dominates their conference from the MEAC, for instance, South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. I think it's hard to go to those teams and say, hey, you're already dominating your conference. You're already generating a lot of revenue. How about you come to the SWAC? But I would be willing to accept prying away Hampton since their conference is kind of getting destroyed. Maybe a Howard, but like I said, geographically speaking, it's so tough. It's so rough. Shoot, a lot of SWAC teams only fly to one game a year right now anyway. So it's gonna be tough to do it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Janaris, you got a team. You're from Alabama, so I'm curious to hear your perspective. What do you have any schools that you think if Tennessee State joined the SWAC, you'd like to see another school join with them?
I can't even think of one, but shoot, the only possibility I would say is they move one of those D2 teams to D1. That's like the only way I will find out. That's like the only way I'll see like them having a running mate. Maybe someone like if Miles College is playing and get bigger, or Tuskegee or somebody, because they always playing SWAC opponents anyway. So that's just them. That's the only option I have for real.
Yeah. Crook is crazy, man. He a special person, man. I can't wait to see you in Baton Rouge, bro.
Oh man.
We're gonna come to the PV tailgate and get you some wings from Bluestone, man.
Hey,
you're a special person, man.
Hey, I might have to have a rack of ribs for Crook, man. I might have to have
a good option too, though.
That's a funny guy there, man.
This man said, "Fam, you a PWI, my lord." Okay, I think that this is one that hasn't been mentioned, but I think there could be some legs. Maybe not from. They would have to work over the challenge of being able to pay, I guess, whatever the fee is to join the FCS.
Right.
But Albany State.
Okay.
They have a really lofty enrollment. They're the only public HBCU in Georgia. They have space. I believe they're a land grant institution, so they have capacity to grow as an institution. It doesn't quite give us the Atlanta market, but from a proximity standpoint, they're really close to FAMU. They're really close to Bama State. They're not too far away from Huntsville. Tennessee State, they have a good Georgia contingent, right? So I think that you would see some, and then also Albany State has a pretty decent crowd. I know they bring a good number of people to FAMU when they play every now and then. So I think all in all, if money wasn't the issue, then I'm going Albany State. But obviously, the big target is Clark Atlanta. From a branding standpoint, academic standpoint, and media market standpoint, if we tied up Atlanta, Texas, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, which is a lower mid-tier market, Tallahassee, I think that we're cooking in a major way. And I think it's some really cool things would come of that just from a strategic partnership standpoint, just focusing on business. Atlanta is kind of the leader in our community when it comes to, Black excellence. I would argue that Houston is probably just as the same, but, all in all, I think that you look at the companies at scale that are ran by our people. You talk about corporate partners. You talk about, what does that mean for the SWAC as a conference? By getting an Atlanta footprint, I think that you would start to see some pretty good development. So all in all, Clark Atlanta or Albany State, I think would make a lot more sense. Now the question becomes, who do you move to the West if you bring those two? If you bring someone from a Georgia and Tennessee State, naturally I would think it would probably end up being Valley. I would love to say it's Jackson, but I think geographically it would end up being Valley.
Right.
But it would be something interesting to have. I would love to have the Tigers on our side of the conference, because you know what? That means we got to see you every year, and they got to see us every year. And so win, lose, or draw, we coming. Okay, we coming on with it. So we're not rivals or nothing like that, but they sure been concerned about PV. The loves PV. We get some other shirts made that say "The loves PV."
But I do love it though. I do love the JSU fan base just for the simple fact that they're going to participate 100% of the year, right? 365, they gonna be there. I blame FAMU. When FAMU was good, they used to kind of keep them in check. But now that FAMU's been bad the last 2 years, they don't know how to act anymore. So they've been cutting up. Alabama State has always been they're this close. They're almost there. They're almost there. They never get it done. I'm done believing in them. I'm done having faith in them. Eddie Rob, you're on the hot seat. Go ahead, get going. Because like I said, with the hiring of Sam Shade and T-Jack, it's going to change how 90% of these athletic departments look at coaching in the SWAC. It's going to be – I'm not saying everybody's going to go grab a coach from a successful D2, but I think the tolerance for losing to Jackson is going to stop eventually. Or in my opinion, it has to stop. You guys have to be tired of coming in second in the East. We were tired of coming second in the conference, going to the Western Conference Finals. Not Western Conference Finals, winning the West, going to SWAC Championship and losing, right? Granted, we fired a coach who went 3-5 in conference, but I guarantee you, if he didn't win the whole thing, he was probably going to get let go too for T-Jack. So I think as perspectives change, I could see a rivalry between Jackson happening if we win. And if we're consistently winning and they're winning, on and off kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, True Seeker trying to start some ish tonight. I don't know if they gave up their FBS hopes. We don't know. We don't support them. There's nothing 601 area code over here. We don't know. We do not know. One can only hope that, if that's in the cards for them, good luck. I think filling in the potholes is probably a little more priority, but hey, it is what it is. So, but yeah, man. Well, I didn't know if y'all had anything else y'all wanted to talk about. I'm like I said, this is a holy channel, so I can't say what I want to say. But we coming off that hill for Dishman, man.
Hey, I can't wait to see the crowd of Labor Day Classic. I can't wait and I hope I haven't watched the game on SWAC TV, but I'm going to be emailing them every day to kind of add the little comment section in there. I would love to be able to have that and see that in there and just have everybody in the chat. I know me and Mr. PV versus everybody himself, we were working on potentially having, if not live reactions, potentially being able to stream the game. We got to see how the copyright is going to work, see if they're going to be taking that down or not. I'm not sure since it is free football. But, we would love to have some type of live stream for the game, some type of place where everybody can come hang out, put their comments in there, talk their trash, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we need to we probably need to talk with Lionel about this. We need to look at, all these young people. I say that like I'm not young. But all these young people, these young folks, younger than me, younger than us, they are on Twitch with like live streams. I wonder what that would look like who would be the first to do that in our space, and like be at the game, right? Like show the environment, right? That sort of thing. I know we got some people on campus that do a really good job and pretty huge actually. What's the guy, Janarius, Justin or whatever his name is? He's like a streamer on PV's campus right now. He's been with like Casanad and all those guys.
You talking about Justin? You talking the dark skin dude?
Yeah,
because he just went to FAMU the other day.
But EA, to answer your question, I might have misspoken on the 2 years, but I'm letting y'all know FAMU finna be bad this year. So and y'all don't have to play us, thank God, this year, because we're gonna give it to y'all in brag. But this might be the year y'all fire y'all coach. Y'all know it. I know it. The new president Marva know it. So it's just one of those things where if PV's not gonna do it, who's gonna stop Jackson? Let's start there.
EA, I got 275 million reasons why you can't get that hoodie from 24.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know if I know you want to talk about our expectation. That's fine. We don't mind saying we delusional for PV, but I'll say it's as valid as that 2019 national championship y'all created. So take that for what it is. You know what I mean? We ain't worried about what you're talking about. You need to be worried about Marva and them, okay? They playing games. I'm on your side though. I'm supporting you. We want Marva out.
Right.
But you need to be worried about that instead about our hoodies, our shirts. If you want to support, we do have 2025.
I was just about to say, you got to pay extra for the 2025. And just for you, we can put the orange and green little bedazzle on it for y'all. And put a little snake on it too, just to let y'all know that y'all was there, kind of thing. Just to let y'all know that y'all participated in it. But PV gonna take it home for y'all, man. We gonna show y'all how to get it done versus Jackson the right way.
What's it? Clock it.
Oh man. Hey, I hope y'all can win at home. Because when we played y'all at home, 30-12 on y'all, boy. Hey, and Richardson ain't play a game after he stepped in Houston, Texas. He stepped in Houston, Texas. That was his last game, I tell you that.
I don't know what y'all thought it was, but coming up to the hill wasn't the best solution. And the only thing I hate about our schedule, I don't think we see them unless they make it to the championship. I don't think we see them for like another 8 years.
Dude, we won't see them ever again. I hope I'm alive to see them again unless we make it to the championship. And I hate that they did it with Jackson. We haven't seen Jackson since 2019. Since pre-COVID. I gotta open up a textbook to see what we did versus Jackson State the last time we played them. And that's a shame.
That's a good question right there.
So who do y'all think will have a breakout game this weekend for PV?
I feel like, let me go with this one. I feel like Jacoby Banks.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Jacoby Banks gonna come out there and
I think.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think my assumption. Oh, my bad. Janiers speaking. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. I know you can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Janiers.
I was saying Jacoby. I feel like Jacoby Banks gonna come out there and show his potential and actually gonna start off with the momentum and build the momentum for PV. That's what I feel like gonna have that big game for sure. And I feel like whoever's starting at the running back position, either McDowell or someone or whoever, they're gonna be the ones to actually come. But for the most part, I'm going with Jacoby Banks. Gonna have that breakout game this week.
All right, Kaylor, it's on you, bro.
My bad, guys. What were we talking about? I was trying to read the comments, man.
Oh yeah, no. Who do you think for PV is gonna have a breakout game this weekend?
Me personally, I don't want to say there's only one way we're going to win, but I'm expecting a D lineman to present himself as a tackle for loss leader and a sack leader, something that PV hasn't had in, I don't want to talk loosely at the mouth, but I want to say like 10 years, since like 2014, 2015. I think we're finally going to have a D lineman emerge as a guy who can actually lead the league in sacks and tackles for loss. I'm excited to see our defense. I think we're going to have one of the hardest hitting defenses, maybe second to Jackson State. Because like I said, I really like the way they play defense over there. And I think this is going to be the start of the reality check for a lot of people in the West. That goes for Dishman. That goes for Joseph. That goes for Graves. That goes for the unknown coach at Pine Bluff. That goes for the unknown coach, anywhere else that we have to play, unfortunately. I know we have to play Sam Shade. I'm excited to play them, but them dogs don't bite.
Yeah, we got win streaks over if Bubba didn't screw the pooch last year, we would have protected our 10-year win streak over Bama State. And I think we have like something like an 8 or 9 win streak against Alabama A&M as well. So I look forward to kind of keeping that going. I'd probably say I had to think for a second about some of the other players, but Jacoby Banks was the first player that came to mind for me too. He's just explosive. You know, he's wide receiver 1 for a reason. And honestly, you know what? I'm gonna take this back. Tristan Golightly.
Okay.
The transfer, the late ad from Abilene Christian.
Yep.
I think later in the game we're gonna see him turn it up. You know, I don't know how integrated he is with the system and everything, but all in all, I think he is very, very, very explosive. And so I think, you know, between those two guys, there's really a lot of guys we could call. So, you know, Chaney Fitzgerald and et cetera. But I think those two for sure just come to mind just because we've seen the tape and we know what they can do. And also we've seen them at practice. So
okay. No, that's good. That's good. I haven't been able to see him in pads yet. But I am glad to hear that good news. I see Cam Peters popping up in the comment. I ain't gonna lie, that's my QB1.
Yeah, that's QB1.
I can't say that he's gonna go out there and throw for 300 because I don't know exactly how we're gonna play on the offensive side of the ball. But I will say this: he won't have to throw the ball 30 times to get his 200 yards. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah,
I think we got some guys that will be able to catch it and crib it and do what they want to do, get some yak yards and do what they need to do in order to work our way down the field.
Carlos, what about KJ Cooper? I've heard people compare him to Cam Newton, and he only played 1 game last season. So, you know, tell us about KJ Cooper or about the other guy y'all got on the roster, quarterback. Don't worry about what we got, Carlos. That's that TSU logic. You know, it just stop it, okay? Stop it. But all in all, you know, I like Carlos. I had to miss him a little bit, but all in all, I think that QB1 is a 2-man race, and I think whoever they decide to go with, whether it's Carter or Peters, hey, it's gonna be good regardless. There's no drop off in talent from QB1 to QB1A. So I don't even see one. I don't see it as 1 and 2. It's really more 1 and 1A. I can't compare him to no Kent. I can't either. That's what the streets been saying. That's what the streets been saying. He played 1 game at TSU and 3 games in JUCO. So your guess is as good as mine, my friend. Yeah.
But yeah, fellas, any last thoughts before we get on out of here?
Man, I said enough tonight, man.
Yeah, if you're in Houston or you're Houston adjacent, get a ticket.
Hey, come out.
Come out.
Get a ticket.
I'm gonna let y'all know.
On out.
If the Jackson fans or the FAMU fans get to saying we got 12 fans out there, I ain't gonna lie. TSU, you gotta take part of that. That's y'all 12 fans out there too. Y'all gotta help us out. We gotta come together. We need this sold out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we at Pitch 25 bar. The bar is called Pitch 25 at 3 p.m. sharp in front of the stadium, and we're gonna turn up, and then we're gonna walk in that stadium and turn up some more because we know what's gonna happen off this hill. So you know, go ahead and get your tickets. You know, if you and everybody, you don't support either program, come on anyway. You ain't doing nothing. Your team probably gonna lose anyway. So come on and come see a winner. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a really good game. I think the anticipation is at all-time high, and you know, y'all already know what's on the hill, so I ain't gotta preach to y'all. It's everybody else that's about to find out. So
definitely. Well, all right, guys. Once again, it's a great day to be a Panther, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.